In today's class, we are going to talk about equivalent ratio. This is a subtopic under ratio and proportion. When do we say two ratios are equal? Let's say we have ratio, the first ratio A ratio B and C ratio D. When do we say this ratio and this ratio is equal? Now, there are two ways to check. The first way is to take the cross product of the ratio. If we have the same number after taking the cross product, then we can say that both ratios are equal. The second way to check whether two ratios are equal is to change both ratios to fraction and reduce it to their lowest term. Do you understand? Okay, now let's say we have two ratios, A ratio B and C ratio D. We want to check whether these ratios are equal. The first step is that I'm going to change both ratio to fraction and then equate it to each other and take the cross product. Do you understand? A over B, A ratio B will be A over B is equals to C over D. Then I will take the cross product. A multiplied by D, that is AD, equals to B multiplied by C, that is BC. Now, if by the time I take the cross product, if this is equals to this, then these ratios are equal. Do you understand? Now, the second step, this is the first step. The second point to check is that by the time I reduce both ratios, if A over B is equals to C over D, by the time I reduce them, and if I have the same fraction, then I can say that both ratios are equal. Do you understand? Okay, now let's take a practical example. We are asked to determine whether 8 ratio 6 is equals to 12 ratio 9. Now we are going to use both steps. We are going to use both steps, okay, that I described earlier. Let's start with the first step. The first step is that we are going to take the cross product of the ratio. If you have the same number, then both ratios are equal. Do you understand? Okay, let's go. 8 ratio C can be written as 8 over 6 is equals to 12 over 9. Now, taking the cross product, I'm going to have 8 multiplied by 9 is equals to 6 multiplied by 12. So now 8 multiplied by 9, that will give us 72. And 6 multiplied by 12, that is also 72. So since their cross product is equal, that means these ratios are equal. This is the first method. Okay, let's use the second method now. The second method, we just have to change both ratio to fraction and reduce it to their lowest term. So I want you to pay attention. This is the first method, okay? Now let's use the second method. 8 ratio 6 is 8 over 6. And this can be written as 4 multiplied by 2 all over 3 multiplied by 2. You understand? So these two, we cancel these two. So I'm left with what? 4 all over 3. You understand? Okay? Now let's change this also to fraction. I'm going to have 12 over 9. Now 12 over 9. 12 can be written as 4 multiplied by 3. You understand? So, 12 can be written as 4 multiplied by 3. So I'm going to have 4 multiplied by 3 all over 9 can be written as 3 multiplied by 3. So this 3 can cancel this 3. So I'm left with what? 4 over 3. Therefore, these ratios are equal. Since both fractions are equal, you can see this fraction is equal to this fraction. We have 4 over 3 here. We have 4 over 3 here. That means both ratios are equal. So these are the two ways to check whether we have whether two ratios that we are given are equivalent or not. Do you understand? Okay, now let's have another work example. We are asked to determine whether 12 ratio 8 and 16 ratio 12 are equal. Let's start with the first method. In this case, we are going to set both ratios to each other. So I'm going to have 12 over 8 is equals to 16 over 12. Then we are going to take the cross product. That will be 12 multiplied by 12 is equals to 8 multiplied by 16. 12 multiplied by 12 is 144. So I'm going to have 144 in this place. 8 multiplied by 16, that is 128. So this is 128. Since 144 is not equal to 128, that means this ratio and this ratio are not equal. You can see now. So that's one of the ways to check. Let's use the second approach. This second approach, I'm going to have 12 over 8. Now we are going to reduce this fraction to the lowest term. If you want to reduce this, 12 is divisible by 4. So I'm going to have 12 divided by 4 is 3. and 8 is also divisible by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So let's check the second one. I have 16 all over 12. Now 16 is divisible by 4, so 16 divided by 4 is 4. Also 12 is divisible by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. You can see that these fractions are not equal. Therefore 12 ratio 8 is not equal to 16 ratio 12. Okay, question number 3. What is the value of x that will make the two ratio equal? Okay, now we are asked to determine the value of x that will make this ratio and this ratio to be equal. We are going to use the first approach. Do you understand? So for this, I'm going to have 15 ratio x is also the same thing as what? 15 all over x is equals to 21 ratio 28 is also the same thing as 21 all over 28. That is in fraction. You understand? Okay, now the next step now is to cross multiply. So for this, I'm going to have x multiplied by 21 is equals to 15 multiplied by 28. Do you understand? Now 21, you can do this without with calculator. You understand? But let's try if you can do it mentally. For this, I'm going to have 21 can be written as 7 times 3. So I'm going to have 7 multiplied by 3 is equals to 15 can be written as 5 multiplied by 3, and 28 can be written as 7 times 4. So I'm going to have multiplied by 7 times 4. Do you understand? Now this 3 can cancel this 3. This 7 will cancel this 7. So I'm left with x on the left hand side of this equation. So I'm going to have x is equals to 5 multiplied by 4. That is 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. So x is equals to 20. So now let's check if the value of x as 20 will make this equals to this. That is, the question says we should determine the value of x that will make this ratio to be equal. Now I want to check. Maybe x is equals to 20 will make 15 ratio 20 is equals to 21 ratio 28. Now let's check. 15 ratio x can be written as 15 ratio 20. You know that x is equals to 20. Do you understand? And the value of x is 20. So 15 ratio 20 is also the same thing as 15 all over 20. Do you understand? Now we can reduce this fraction by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 5. So I'm going to have 3 all over 4. You understand? Now this one we have 21 ratio 28. 21 ratio 28 can be written as 21 all over 28. Now we can reduce this fraction by dividing both sides by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 7. So 21 divided by 7 is 3, and 28 divided by 7 is what? 4. So these ratio are equal, since by the time I take the I reduce their fraction, you can say I have 3 over 4 here, I have 3 over 4 here. That means that this ratio is equal, and the value of x that makes this ratio to be equal is what? X is equals to 20. Do you understand? That is one of the applied questions that can come under equivalent ratio. Okay, now let's have another work example. To watch the next class, kindly check the description of this video. You are going to see a link there. Click on that link, or you should check the playlist on this channel. Okay, see you in the next class.